Free Roblox games never actually give free Robux and are usually a scam, but sometimes they actually do. And today we're gonna break down a bunch of games that actually give free Robux. Please subscribe and stay tuned because some of these might shock you. Alright, firstly, let's rewind like 3 years ago to some of the first iterations of free Roblox games. So before the whole Please Donate era and games like that existed, free Roblox games and stuff like that weren't really a thing and they were always scams. However, out of nowhere one day, a lot of people realized that using like loopholes through a group, and if you get everyone to join a group, you can actually make free Roblox games through like group payouts and stuff. And at the time, these games were actually like, they were against Roblox TOS. So they typically launch for like 10 minutes, give away a bunch of free Robux, and then they'll get deleted, and then the people usually get banned just because this wasn't technically allowed in the Roblox rules. And a lot of people who did this were also like hackers and stuff, but let's break down an actual game. The first one being this, ROBUX. And this is a classic free Roblox game. I think this is one of the first actual free Roblox games. And the game itself was pretty simple. You see like a quick lobby, and right when you got to the end, you got free Robux. I think it gave you like 20 Robux. And how it works, just like I said, was it would just give you a group payout. Like if you read the description, it says that you have to join the group to play, and that's why, because you only get the Robux through group payouts. And ever since games like this popped up and people realized that free Robux was possible, it kind of blew up because, I mean, number one, it's free Robux, and number two, popular people made videos on it that also went viral. Like sketch video here had like 6 million views, for example. But also with that, Flamingo also made a popular video on this, which has almost like 11 million views now, which is insane. But in Flamingo's video, he actually broke down another game, and these games were actually made by Tubers93, which is an infamous hacker. Now, I don't know if this was the actual Tubers93 or someone pretending, but Tubers93 during like this era launched actually a bunch of free Roblox games. And I think they did do some obbies and stuff, but a lot of times they did some like weird stuff and they were a bit different every time. And now, like I said at the start, a lot of these games came for like 2 seconds and then they got deleted and the people got banned yet again. Like as we can see here, one of the games was literally called High Rolls Admins. And like I said, this game was a bit different. It wasn't an obby or anything. All it was that you spawn in like this base plate and they changed everyone's character to just be like this all black thing. It was kind of weird. And then in the middle, there's like a button that everyone had to click. It was kind of really weird and confusing what's going on. And apparently if you click that button, you would get free Robux. And then there's also this game apparently for some reason, which is a bunch of weird thing. And at the time, a lot of these games were just poorly made because they're just using loopholes to give away free Robux and stuff. And a lot of times these games actually ended up being just scams too, because since like the first free Robux thing launched, so much people made them the games because obviously everyone's gonna fall for it, and a lot of them weren't actually real. But the Tubers93 ones for the most part were real, and that first one I showed was real too. Like Flamingo in his video covering this showed that they have all like the logs and everything, and they were actually giving away like 20 Robux every time. And then also with that, I think these people also made another game where they accidentally gave away free Robux because they forgot to just do it so people can only do it one time, and people just kept spamming it over and over again. So as you can see, some of the first iterations of these free Robux games were pretty basic and simple. All of them use the base concept of joining a group and group payouts, and then from that, it would just be like a simple obby or just another game with like free assets. The games themselves were usually poorly made in like 10 seconds and nothing too crazy. The main goal is just to give away Robux, and then sometimes you do an obby to make it a bit harder, but even the obbies were pretty easy to do. And with that being said, these games kind of died out over time for a few reasons. I mean, number one, it's kind of hard to find them because, like I said, it was against the Roblox TOS to give away group funds like these, and the people behind them would always get terminated and banned off the platform, and the game would get banned too. So it's hard to find these because you would do them in like random communities and stuff. And then also with that, since these games got so popular and viral, there's so much fake ones out there that it was so hard to differentiate which ones are real and fake. And then a bunch of other reasons, but the main one just being like you weren't allowed to do it technically in Roblox TOS. And these games kind of died out over time, and a lot of people just forgot about them and moved on. However, recently, over the last year or so, these games have popped up but in a different form, and it all has to do with the Please Donate owner, Hasm. Now, Please Donate itself, you can argue the free Roblox game, but we'll talk more about that later. But like I said, the owner behind Please Donate, Hasm, has done some pretty insane free Roblox stuff, and Hasm didn't do it through group payouts or anything like that. He actually made his own code system in his own website, hasm.gg, and in these games, he would give away the codes, which then you could use on this website, and then it would pay you a Robux. And the way you got paid a Robux, I'm pretty sure, was that his alt account would offline donate you in Please Donate. So still using Please Donate, but they use this website to just kind of make it simpler. And Hasm made a bunch of these games. One of the first ones was another obby. Hasm one day tweeted out just randomly saying, "Free Roblox obby out now. Reach level 10 to get your Roblox code. Redeem at hasm.gg. Only 20,000 codes in stock." Now I don't remember how much exactly the codes were, but I'm pretty sure they're like 100 Robux. But compared to the last obby we talked about, this obby was way harder. It was 10 stages that were kind of difficult, and it also had like a glitch mechanic, so it wasn't just straightforward. But if you got to the end, it would say congratulations, and then it would give you a code, and then you can redeem that code at hasm.gg for free Robux. And these games went viral because number one, Hasm is just trusted in the community. You know, all the giveaways were real and stuff, people could trust him. And also just the sheer amount of Robux he was giving out was insane. And with how successful this was and how popular it got, Hasbro did another one after this, which was more insane than the other one, or than this one. Because the next game Hasbro launched, you didn't actually have to do anything hard or anything too crazy. You actually got free Robux just for joining the game, and that's because it was a dice game. Hasbro tweeted out saying, roll the dice infinite times and went up to 120 Robux per roll. Game's only up for around 20 minutes, so hurry. And basically how this game worked was that when you joined in, you automatically had 20 Robux, and all you had to do was roll the dice. So literally click one button, and whatever number the dice landed on was your multiplier. So if it landed on 1, 20 times 1 is just 20 Robux, so you leave it 20 Robux. But then if it landed on 6, you'd win 120 Robux. And then just like that, by clicking one button and joining the game, you could get 120 Robux that easily. And I'm pretty sure, like he mentioned in the tweet, how he said roll the dice infinitely, I think you could just keep joining over and over again when this like 20-minute window was open. So you could join, you landed on a 6, you get 120 Robux, leave the game, join back, you have another 20 Robux and another roll, and you can keep doing this over and over again. And people made hundreds to thousands of Robux because of this, because all you had to do was click one button. Now as I'm editing this, I realized I got kind of confused. Now what I said was technically true, like you could just join over and over again, I'm pretty sure, and that would still work. However, when you roll the dice and whatever number you got back, you would still keep that number of Robux. So for example, let's say you got 6 and you got 120 Robux, you could then roll the dice again to multiply that 120 Robux by the number again. And I think you could keep doing that over and over again till you had like a bunch of Robux. And then that's how people got thousands of Robux out of it, because a lot of people rolled a couple of times till they got 1000 Robux, and then you get like a 1000 Robux code. And surprisingly, it doesn't even end here. These were the two only official like Hasbro made games, but Hasbro did actually use these codes to give away to like his friends and stuff like that and their games, and they also added it to their games as well. Another popular one was the game Wish or Make a Wish, and basically in this game you can type stuff in the chat to just wish for stuff. So you can say like give me a house and it'll spawn a house and stuff like that. But at one point they actually had a free Robux thing going on where if you would type in Hasbro code or huge Hasbro, something like that in the chat, you actually had a 1% chance of getting a free Robux code. I think first when it launched you had a higher chance, but they made the chance like less because they didn't want to break the website and stuff. And all these games combined gave away hundreds of thousands of Robux. It was pretty insane. And during this period, this was literally the easiest and best way to get free Robux, because as I showed, a lot of them are really simple and just took some time and luck. The dice one by far was the most craziest one I've ever seen, just because all you had to do was join and click a button. Like it was free Robux guaranteed, which was insane. But with that being said, this all does have a bad ending in typical Roblox fashion, because once again, Roblox kind of realized that this is kind of against the TOS since they're directing users off platform, and they told Hasbro to stop doing it. And because of this, Hasbro just shut down the whole Hasbro.gg website. It's still up, but you can't redeem codes on it anymore. And Hasbro was not allowed to do giveaways like these anymore, which is pretty unfortunate because these games were really fun for the community and they give away a bunch of free Robux. But Roblox said it wasn't allowed because I'm pretty sure directing users off platform or something like that. And with it all being said, I should also just mention in general, there's a lot of games out there that give you free Robux, quote unquote. And I'm saying quote unquote because it's not just like a game or anything like that. I'm talking about general donation games. So stuff like Starving Artist and Please Donate. A lot of people classify these as free Robux games as well. And these kind of have changed like free Robux in general because anyone can get Robux now through donations, which is pretty crazy. But then also with that, there's a bunch of iterations of these. Like for example, Sale Hangout, where you can actually show off people your clothing and stuff and then sell it directly through that. And right now on Roblox, it's probably the best chance you have of selling stuff and getting donations because there's so much games to show off your items and sell them, you know, make art and sell it, or just get donations and stuff like Please Donate. And I feel like right now, these are the most popular ways of getting quote-unquote free Robux, because they are free, but they're through donations. And with that being said, these have been the most popular free Robux games throughout the years, and as you guys can see, most of them do end up getting shut down eventually by Roblox, since a lot of them you technically aren't allowed to do, which is pretty unfortunate. And anyways, with that being said, if you enjoyed, check this video to find out a bunch of Roblox games that actually got sued, and I'll see you in the next one.